What's up, Reefers? Back with another update on the tank. In this video I'm going to show something bad that happened in, or I guess it's maintenance that happened in the aquarium. I've had the Thieling rollermat compact for almost, well, it's been about a year and a half and something happened. So right now, this is the fourth or fifth sock that I've had kind of rigged up there just to handle the water flow. So let me show you what happened with the roller mat. Okay, so here's the roller mat compact. I wish I could get it to stand up. I took the legs off. I don't need them in my tank. They can just hang on this bracket on the wall mount, the side mount that I have, or the one of the baffles. So what's supposed to happen is, this float switch hangs right here, and when the water level raises, float switch goes up. The motor turns this, which in turn turns the filter sock, or filter paper, which allows it to get new filter paper, filter material, and allows the water to flow through it a little easier, because what ends up rolling up on this side is the dirty side. That side is the clean side. So then once the water level goes down, float switch goes down and it stops the motor. The problem is this float switch isn't working correctly. Let me plug this in. All right, so the float switch is down like it's supposed to be when the water level is lower, and it shouldn't be turning the motor. I tried messing with it a few times. I thought, oh, well, maybe it somehow got backwards. No. So there it is, up, down, doesn't matter. I opened this panel, and I just saw that it's a couple wires in here. The float switch actually goes through the side into there, and that's what I'm going to replace with a new roller mat compact float switch. So I'm going to take the side panel off and see how to do it. So here's that side panel removed, and these are the leads. We need to thread them through right back there. It's kind of got a little water stopper on there. So I'm going to unscrew those, then pull that wire through. That goes onto this side. This just needs to be unscrewed off this bracket, and I'm going to replace it with a new one. All right, guys. Well, I swapped the wires. Got the new switch on there. It's up, it's down, it doesn't matter. It's salt water got in there, corroded the board. That must be the problem. So now back to Bulk Reef Supply to see if I can order a new board. All right, so after the roller mat debacle, I finally figured out what was wrong. That it's the control panel in here got corroded. So what I did, I was tired of rigging up filter socks in here, so I put this roller mat back in, and I programmed my Apex to turn it once an hour for 20 seconds, and it's kind of been working. I just bumped it up to 25 seconds because out here it just kept spewing out water. It just wasn't enough. Wasn't turning enough, wasn't turning right at the right times. So hopefully, I mean, the back part where everything is collected, you can see it's fully getting used up. So that's working for now. I guess the control board should be at Bulk Reef Supply by the end of the month. So hopefully I'll get that replaced sooner than later, because that's kind of been a pain. Way less of a pain than filter socks though. So today I'm gonna do a water change. I have my 3 buckets right here and my water sucker guy. So I have about 4.5 buckets worth made up down in the basement. So I'll start pulling water out. I keep this little step stool and a towel right here, just so I can open this up, suck the water down, and any little spills I wipe up right away. Since I do have hardwood, going onto the travertine's no big problem, but just for that hardwood, I like wiping it up right away. So let's get to it. Got them all lined up, so it's easy just to go from one to the other. All right, so I've already taken out 3 buckets worth. I'm leaving one over here as a fill bucket because I'm going to take out basically 5 buckets worth, and then I'll use these 2 buckets to fill up with the water that's down in the basement. I did want to share something. I have Astorina starfish back there, and I already cleaned them off on this side. What I do is I just basically take the end of this and kind of scrape them off the wall a little bit, and they just get sucked right up into the tube. Yeah, you can see them there in the tube. The key is to slowly let the water out when you're filling up your bucket. You slowly let the water out of the tube. If you just pull this right out of the water, then all that water just gushes back into the tank. If you kind of crimp the hose down here, then the water more slowly comes out, so those starfish don't go flying back into the tank. All right, here comes the other 2 buckets coming out. Okay, here we are at the mixing station. The MP40 is going on full blast just to mix everything up. You know, there was a little surface stuff on this end. The heater I shut off about a minute ago. I mixed it yesterday. Everything's running fine in there. I checked it with my salinity checker. I'm using Coral Pro Salt, and I put a couple scoops of Instant Ocean just to keep the alkalinity down, because the alkalinity is super high in that. I'm going to buy a bucket of the blue salt now that I can make it over to the store in town that sells it. So but yeah, that's my setup. You have to kind of slowly, just so you don't get a bunch of backsplash. If you open this wide up right away, splashes a ton in. Kind of feather it into full blast. I also cut this up so that bucket can fit in there with just a little tilt to get it in. So working a ton better. So I'll just take this up and dump it in the sump. It's pretty full already. That's because I already put 2 buckets in there. So now I'm gonna cancel that feed mode, and I didn't push it. There we go. So the pump's gonna run everything back up. We'll see it spilling out. There we go. And then once this area gets down, I don't know, at least below that white strip, then I'll dump in another bucket. Then I'll dump in the 4th bucket, and then I'll push that feed mode button again and show you how I get the rest of the water out of the tank. So for this last bit of water, and you kind of feather it, bring it up to full crank. And then once this starts spurting out, then I use this turkey baster. I angle the tank back. That's why I kind of built it this way. So it still provides me support from having the tank tip over and off the stand, but I'm able to lean it back and suck up all this water and just shoot it down that hole and right into the bucket. All right, so I stirred up a bunch of stuff in the sump by dumping in those buckets. This always happens. There's a bunch of crap floating around, but good thing is it goes down the overflow right into the filter sock. So tank's back up and running. I'm gonna say within a half a gallon of guessing it on point. So I only had to dump a little bit of water from this back in there, and it looks like I dumped a little bit too much. We are kind of right up at the top of the ice cap where normally it'd be the ATO controller, where normally it'd be just a little bit lower than this, but no problem. So there we go. We'll see. I think I'll run an alkalinity test right now. So we'll start an alkalinity. We are at 10.13. We'll see what that Coral Pro salt gives us, mixed in with a little bit of Instant Ocean. All right, so here we are about 10-15 minutes later. I just wiped down the glass. I had a couple smudges and things on that. Not like it really matters with all the scratches I have in it, but everything's looking good, responding well. Just like I said, the alkalinity, it jumped from 10.11 to 10.41. I knew it'd jump up a bit, but that's why I added in that Instant Ocean to kind of keep it from going too high. So I think what I'll do is I'll get the Red Sea blue bucket, and I'll just kind of do half and half black, half blue, because I like keeping it right around 10 DKH. So the blue bucket is a little bit low for keeping it there, but yeah, so I think that's it for this month's, you know, whenever I decide to upload a new episode. I do have a new toy coming. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I mounted that guy right there. I mounted a few corals, put these zoas down there. I know I'm gonna put this zoa in eventually. That one, it actually fell down. It was laying on that guy right there. I tried separating this dude, but it just split in half, so I'm gonna let it grow out for quite a while. But I even thought about selling everything on this rack just to get the rack out of here. I don't see anything that I'm gonna have to trim anytime soon, but I would, just like always, want to buy more coral, but I don't really have spots for them. When you look, especially from that top-down shot, there's not too much room left, and what room is left, I want that stuff to grow out. So, yep. So that's so the new toy is coming within a week or so, and it'll be a surprise right about there. All right. See you next time, reefers.